Hi everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to have another how-to video with Ruik on how to set up your chroma key and make your green screen look good. So first things first, let's go into our settings and add our camera. So the easiest way to add your camera is to go to the plus sign, click video capture device, and add your webcam. Once that's added, you need to make sure your lights are even and spread out correctly. So if we go to your camera, right click and go to filters, you'll see your camera right here with your possible filters on the top left and top right. So what we can do with that is we can look at ourselves and see how well we are lit up. So a really important part of a good green screen is one, your green screen. And you can get any cloth like this for $20 at your local hobby shop. Once you have your green screen up on the wall, you need to have good lighting. And the best lighting is a light in front of you, some kind of lamp or something that's frosted, very soft white light, LED preferably, to light up your body and your face so that you're evenly lit and that it's easy to get all the edges around you in color. The other important part is to have good backlighting. You see there's no shadows behind me, even though there's a light shooting onto me. That's because I have a very strong LED light shooting from behind me onto the wall, thus canceling out all the shadows. So once you have those lights set up and you have your video camera set up so that your brightness and your contrast and your saturation is in a good place, what you need to do is then go to your effect filters and you need to add a chroma key. Now you're going to see two things. You're going to see a chroma key and a color key, and they work very similar, but they're not quite the same. I prefer using a chroma key. It works better in my opinion. Sometimes you can use a chroma key in combination with a color key. You can use more than one. You don't have to use just one. So if we go to add a chroma key, we go down here and hit the plus button. We hit chroma key. So we just either leave it named chroma key or we add something to it. I'm going to name it chroma key 3 to show you guys how it works. So if we turn all our settings off, you'll see all these settings here. You see similarity, smoothness, key color spill reduction, opacity, contrast, brightness, and gamma. So our most important settings here is our key color type. So if you have a green screen, you'd have a green key color type. If you have a blue chroma key, you'd have a blue color type, magneta, etc., really easy. So similarity, what that basically means is how similar the pixels are to each other that they black out, or that they green out per se, or that they chroma out, which is the correct term. So as we raise this bar, you can see the background behind me will eventually start graying out, like that. And if I pull it too far, it starts bringing me out. The reason why it does this is because we're getting to a spot where the colors are so similar that it's actually associating colors on my body as being green enough to color out. Because even if you don't think about it, your skin and your clothes and your hair all have green pigments in them. They use green in the video software to express what color that pixel is. So you want to be careful about raising that bar too high. So what I usually do is I raise it high enough to where it gets to a point where only the edges around me are kind of flickering green. There's like a green line all around everything that's around me. And then what you do is you take the smoothness bar and you slightly raise it very slowly until everything starts kind of looking less flickery and it looks tighter and more smooth. So what the smoothness bar does is it kind of just feathers out the pixels so that it's not such a hard line and it's harder to see where those edges are. Color spill reduction basically reduces the red in the image, so the further I raise this, the more black and white I get. You don't want to raise that too high if you want to raise it at all, but basically when you're doing a green screen, sometimes it can take some color out of whatever you are on the screen, so out of your face or your hair or your body. And so you want to raise this key color spill reduction in order to fix that, because when you take that color out, it makes you look more red. So it basically just removes red to fix the fact that you're already turning red. So I usually raise that a little, but not very much. The contrast, brightness, and gamma are up to you. But personally, I like to make sure I have some deep shadows, but that I'm bright enough to be seen. But what you want to be careful of is that you're not ghosting. What that means is you're so bright that it looks like you're shiny on the screen and that it doesn't look real. So what you need to do is make sure your brightness is low enough. And gamma is a little bit different from brightness, but it's good to raise if you want to make the screen brighter, but you don't want it to ghost out. So you can raise your gamma and lower your contrast to add a little bit more depth to color. The higher you raise your contrast, the lower you have to take your gamma. So it's pretty much whatever settings you prefer. You just play around with that and figure out what you like. And that, for the most part, is the basics of chroma keying. If you want to take a look at color keying, we're using a green color type on the color key as well, but you can see it doesn't quite work as well, if you notice here. So if we select green and raise that value, it works well until you get to bright points. The problem with the color key is it has a hard time manipulating green screens that are not perfect. If this was a perfect green screen, the color key would work really well, but I do not have a perfect green screen and you don't need one either, so I would just use the chroma key. And that's about all I have for you guys today. Chroma keying is super easy, and it's super easy to set up a green screen. Just go to the store, buy $20 worth of cloth, and have some good lighting, and you're set to go. I hope everybody had a great time with the tutorial. Have a good day. Oh yeah, and make sure to subscribe, like, comment in the video if you liked what you saw, and go follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/RUEK_. That'll be in the comments below. I hope everybody had a good time watching the video.